And this is Not Your Mama's Bible Study, along with a little bit of his stories, lies. So, again, we're in one of these books of antiquity. I'm kind of afraid to leave this page because I don't want to lose it. So, I will maybe put the date toward the end so that we can go ahead and look at it then. But this is the works of the Most High and Mighty Prince. I am, or James. By the grace of God, King Britain, France, King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, defender of the faith. Okay. So again, there's talking about like treaties and stuff over here on this side, but I kind of wanted to read this part because I feel like it's speaking to the earth. Okay. So it says the apostle of the whole church. Again, the whole church can just be a group or a body or a family or a so-called race or whatnot. Militant. Okay, so again, a lot of us are in warrior mode. A lot of us are in warrior mode. Okay, mentally, physically, I won't even say emotionally because warriors don't deal with emotions, but you know it says in whatsoever part of the earth. So since it's saying in whatsoever part of the earth, I'm thinking that these are portions of the earth. It doesn't say what is on the earth. But then there's also those who have come into. So again, this could be also be talking about inhabitants or indigenous people. So again, it could be talking about something else, and that's why it's important to read it and see who we actually are talking to. Okay. So it says, to whom could I have so, and this is one of those ones where they use F's for S's, so it kind of confuses me sometimes. Um, so fitly directed Christian readers. Okay. Because again, regardless of what these people would have been, if they were Christians before, again, we have to keep that in mind, right? That is saying Christian readers. But again, at one time, everybody wasn't Christian, but now it's one of the main or major religions that people are subscribed to. So those people may not have been in the past, but could we be talking Christians because they know that these people would be now, okay? Or then whenever this was written, so again, we'll have to keep reading. This paraphrase of mine upon the revelations as unto you, who are the very and true posterity of those churches, or again, groups, okay, bodies, okay, to whom the book itself was dedicated, and for whose instruction. So then we could go back to, I think, what did he say? Revelations, and see exactly what that chapter starts off with and who they're talking to, when, where, and what, okay, they're talking about, okay. So of those churches to whom the book itself was dedicated. So again, this is what I mean by it's talking about those to whom the book was dedicated. Not everybody in the world, not everybody. So again, it's very important to know who they were talking to. And for those whose instruction and comfort the said apostle was indicted by the Holy Spirit and written by the great theologue, theolo, theologue, okay, or John, the apostle, whom our master beloved dearly, okay. I doubt not, but it will seem strange to many that any of my age, calling and literature, should have meddled with so obscure, theological, and a high subject. Okay, with so obscure theological and a high subject. Okay, because then is this talking about higher? Is this talking about higher consciousness? Okay, or a higher level of thinking. Okay, and this is why they keep us oppressed and depressed and in fear. Okay, so that a lot of us can't tap into that. Okay, but let my earnest desire by manifesting the truth as well to teach myself as others. And again, a lot of us are taking on that spirit. I would have to say that that is me. I am walking with, I'm not only walking and trying to bring myself to a certain point of understanding, but I'm also hoping to bring others along with me because, again, there's no one better than others. We are all at different levels of understanding, which is important. And if you're not, then, that doesn't mean that we're better than, but that just means that we can see the world for what it is better than you can. Okay. So we've chose to shed off all of that indoctrination and all of these other things and become a child when it comes to your mental capacity and when it comes to learning and asking questions and questioning everything and seeking things and touching and feeling and seeing, it's like a new adventure. Okay. So testing methods and theories and things like this. Okay. uh, okay. As others serve for, wait. Yeah, serve for excuse. Considering also that we're diverse, I'm thinking. I don't know. I can't make that out. Others in our age, okay, have meddled with the interpretation of this book, pressing with preoccupied opinions, only to rest and confirm the meaning thereof to their particular and private passions. Okay, and see, that's the thing that we don't want to end up doing. We want to make sure we look at all of it, no matter who's involved, who we're talking to, or whatever, because again, it all goes together. We can't be just talking about one side of things and not talk about what else was going on at that time. I, by the contrary, protest that all my travails tend to square and confirm my opinions. Again, this is what we're really talking about. The books and the tools and things like that are just tools, okay? The books and all the other information that we're pulling from are just tools to incite that which or remind ourselves, right? Okay, because it's already in you. Okay, a lot of this knowing, and this is why when we come to a certain understanding about certain things, you don't have to spend that much time on it because you already know. We're not dealing with faith and belief. We're dealing with the excuse me. We're dealing with the spirit of knowing. Okay, to square and confirm my opinion to the true and sincere meaning thereof, which causes moved me to undertake this work, not thereby to despise infinite others. Okay, so again, not to despise infinite others who to the glory of, let's see, God and great comfort, okay, and great comfort, okay, wait a minute, okay, which moved me to undertake this work. A lot of us have been moved to undertake some of the work that we're doing today, okay, not thereby to despise infinite others who to the glory of God and a great comfort of his church. So again, are we talking about that pyramid, the people that are involved, the living creatures that are hovering over you in that pyramid when we're talking about the caste system or in the hierarchy, right? The class system. I'd rather call it that than racism, okay? So hath given it a great light, okay, already, but rather that by us pursuing and do consider thereof, whereto this work hath led me, I might be the better acquainted with the meaning of this book, which I esteem a special, excuse me, canon. Now, there is talk of special canons and hidden canons and everything in history, and I believe maybe even in the text. But against the heretical wall of our common, now see, okay, now we had to go there. Now we have to go there because again, we're talking about common. Are we talking commoners? Again, are we talking not to look at the people that are in this particular place here and cause them any type of discomfort? Although these are the ones here waking up, the American Aborigines and all of the darker melanated people around the entire world, not just in Africa, not just with origins in Africa, okay? Origins around this whole entire plane or so-called world prior to the creation story in Genesis. Those are the people that have had their ribs of DNA or different things taken from them in order to produce some of these people that reside in here. And this is the house or the abode of God. And these are God's children, and they are his servants, right? Okay? They serve different purposes in this caste system or in this construct that we are under today. Okay? That is hidden under the government or government. Okay? So again, these are all of the foreigners that have been brought in since I don't know how long. Okay, so let's stop talking about 400 years. It's been way longer than that we've been dealing with these people. So again, these are the people that some are melanated, some sprung from you as indigenous people, some are native, some are aliens, some are immigrants or immigrants. But again, these are the seeds that were planted in the soil down here in order to and then they kept them alongside these people as the wheat and the tare to only harvest the wheat and lift them up into this portion, because you cannot enter this portion. Your energy. So if they want to talk about the energy and the thing, and God is so radiant that people can't see him, and he can't come down he can't come in amongst the presence of these particular people. That's you in my eyes. Now you are connected to a different source or a different type of energy. Okay, it's one that resides within side of you. Okay, these people have built their temple outside and on top of you. Okay, so this is the symbolic way of looking at it, but this has something to do with your chakras. Okay, this is already in you organically. Okay, these are watered down or GMO portions of what we're talking about when we're talking about these particular people. And I don't know about all the rest of them, but I'm American. I'm an American Aborigine, and this is where I stand. So I'm gonna tell you what's going on with us. Okay. And here's the enmity right here between her seed and, because this is the fall of Adam. It was not about a piece of fruit. It was about producing different children or offspring that looked a certain way that God was not pleased with, is in my opinion. Okay. Um, because again, he came to bring light. God came to bring division and so-called racism or classism from the beginning. This here construct was created by the God of creation. Okay, which usually takes this thing and plants it on top of some original soil, and then he takes the soil or the dirt or the dust, and then he mixes it with whatever he has, and he forms him a man out of the original beings. Okay, so again, let's go back. Okay, so again, of our common adversaries, the papist, who I would wish to know that in this my Pharisee paraphrase, sorry, upon it, I have used nothing of my own conjure or of the authority of others, but only have interpreted it in the sense which may best agree with the method of the apostle, and not be contradictory to itself, the meaning whereof I expound partly by itself and partly by other parts of the scripture, as the work itself will bear witness. Okay? Again, this is what I'm trying to tell you when I'm talking etymology. This will bear witness itself. This is their stuff that we're using in order to show you what they're really talking about in this text. And again, it's something that resides in you, but then there's also something that we have information that can actually bring this down to reality and help you better understand, like etymology and other tools and other works, okay, what we're really seeing here, okay? And therefore, this one thing I must crave of our adversaries, that they will not refute any part of my interpretation till they, okay, find out a more probable themselves, agreeing with the whole context. Come, Seri Tempo, uh, come, Siri Temporum. I don't know. That will be something to look up, I guess. And where their consciousness, because again, we talk consciousness in Genesis as well, bear them. We're talking crowns in here too, that they're going to give crowns. Now, if the corona is a crown chakra, what the fuck are we afraid of? And yes, it's affecting so-called black people more than others because you are the one that's closely rooted to the source. Okay? That have a different type of material or a different amount of that material makeup in your pineal or in your um, uh, glands. Okay? Or your third eye or whatever it is. Okay? So again, other people have to um, use things that are outwardly in order to get here, and you already have it within, and we're letting them dim our light, okay, with their system, their education system, and their entertainment and all these other things that they are offering, when we need to fall back away from all that shit right now and find ourselves. Okay, even me, even whoever, we're here to help each other. We're here to make mention of things that will uh, click or make other people become aware so that they can then do their own research. So again, I'm not here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm just simply sharing what it looks like to me. Okay? Bear them witness that I speak the truth, and they will yield unto it. And uh, the glories, God, therein. Okay? Wait. Unto it, and and glorify God therein. Or are we saying within? I don't know. Okay. Or are we talking about within the truth? I don't know. Okay. And this is all the reward I crave for my pains. Again, we're just seeking truth. See? Because that's going to lead us to so many different places. Again, not to say that that is what, but again, these words here are to show you something, but it's also to tap into that deeper portion of you, okay, in order to activate certain things that we are put here to do the work thereof, okay? So someone might be a little bit more with breaking down this scripture. Again, but the only way you're going to be able to break it down the way that I'm doing it is to dismiss that whole thing in general. The whole Christianity, the church, all that other stuff, look within and then go ahead and look at the text, okay? And it's going to be hard for those who have been heavily indoctrinated and mass manipulated in church and school in order to see this. You would have to have something that halted you or stopped you at a young age from feeling like that was what was for you. You would have to be one of those ones that you would feel that this energy has set aside or set apart in order to encounter this. And you've always known this, but you've been forced or you've succumbed to other things like fear in order to, keep you stagnant. Okay. So again, when they say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding, fearing that, wait a minute, some of this stuff is not for us. And we are being, that is the thing that actually can wake certain people up. Fear that you're going in the wrong direction of something. Okay. But again, um, that is what we're saying. Okay. And that's the only reward that most of us want. Okay. Is to wake other people up. Okay. But of one thing, I must forewarn you, Christian readers. Okay. So again, anybody can read this, but it's saying I'm forewarning you, readers, to wit, that ye may understand that it is for the making of the discourse. Remember, we talked about discourse and how it's very deceptive and how pastors do sermons and sermons are deceptive or a discourse. Okay. That is sorcery in my eyes. Okay. And it's all taking everything that is within you and making you feel bad if you come into uh, one with that energy instead of going with the sheeple or the masses with what they have told you. Okay. And not doing the due diligence or the work yourself to see what we're really talking about here. So it's not to get closer to this so-called white Jesus or this particular God of creation. It's to get closer to you because ye are gods. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So more short and fascial, maybe fascial, okay, or sashal. I don't know. Oh no, fascial. Okay. That I have made. Or I keep saying Ion, or John, to be the speaker in all Pharisee, and not that I am so presumptuously foolish. Okay. See, again, maybe this is not what it's saying, but it's making me think of just us not being foolishly led anymore. Okay, as to have meant thereby that my Pharisee is the only true and certain exposition, okay, of this apostle, uh, reciting, no, rejoicing. I don't know. I can't make that out. All others, or recite. I don't know. Okay. For although through speaking in his person, I am only bounded and limited to, I don't know, to use, or to use one, and not diverse interpretations of every several place. Yet I condemn not others, but rather allow them to interpret it diversely. So being it agree with the analogy of faith. Okay. Again, yet I condemn not others, but rather allow them to interpret it diversely. So being it uh, agree with the analogy of faith. See again, what is that? To agree with the analogy of faith. Just saying. He's talking about truth. This is talking about faith. So with the method of the text, cum seri temporum. Okay, as I said before, those three being, excuse me, observed, it may fall out that um, diversely expound uh, one place, and yet all be according to the truth. Okay, diversely expound in one place, and yet all be according to truth. And very meaning of the Spirit of God. Okay, as may easily be pursued by the text itself. Hmm. By the text itself. Wow. For in the 17th chapter, the angel expounding to John the seven heads of the beast that came out of the sea, he said, wait, of the sea, he saith, or faith, or be faith, I don't know. The seven heads which thou saweth upon the beast are seven hills. Now, again, here we go talking about something that I'm thinking has something to do with uh, some type of hills like Capitol Hill or something, even a city. Okay. I can't remember if it was Minnesota where all this stuff started, or I think that's Minnesota. But that is said to be the one city that sits on many waters, and it also has something to do with seven hills. Okay, all of this stuff is symbolic, and they know exactly what they're doing, and this is why they use media and things like this in order to manipulate the masses. Okay. And if you can't see, you're going to be misled. Okay. Okay. So the seven hills, and they are also seven kings. And I think that these seven kings represent, when I did that video a while ago on the FEMA camps or military camps, right? okay, which some of these happen to be in the same space they had the Japanese internment camps back in the day. um, that these groups that they broke the country off into, again, we haven't heard much about that again, if they're still working together, if they're not. But these groups, like the cluster of, I think it was Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, uh, shoot, in some other states that were clustered together when they were talking this whole thing of the coronavirus. And I did that video on that to show you guys what I think that represents. And again, the seven kings may represent the governors of those places. Okay. Here ye see one thing is expounded into very far different fashions, and yet both true. Sorry. Okay. Uh, okay. Yet both true, and therefore let wise men take their choice in these things, observing always these rules I have spoken of. As okay, especially for example, this Hebrew word Armageddon in chapter 16, in the 16th chapter and the sixth file. I don't know. Okay. Although I expound it to signify destruction by deceit. Huh. Destruction by deceit. Huh. So kind of like how these people went around and tore up stuff because of the deception. How the world is crumbling down around us and it's all being done deceptively. Like the 9/11 controlled demolition, like the controlled demolition of the so-called economy here now, worldwide almost. Okay. I don't know. Like the coronavirus, that they can't make up their mind as to how and what this damn thing does and how it works when it's just another virus or another so-called maybe even a bacteria, they're saying now. Okay. And how they're going to try to get you to believe that this affects black people the most and then stop talking about it when it was supposed to be elderly. Wait a minute, children. Wait a minute, dogs. Wait a minute, cats. Wait a minute, this. Wait a minute, that. And then now all of a sudden it's so, oh, black people. Oh, yeah, because they have ailments. What are those ailments? Could this be because this is talking about something that is within you, that is being fueled, and something that is being done by your uh, the source, okay? That they are trying to dim that light or put that fire out, okay? By saying now that we should be the first, like they care. They care, right? They care. Oh, and then these supposed people that supposedly died in Chicago over the past couple of weeks again. Do they care? If it's about lives, why don't we do other things in other places in order to get to people that are dying? I believe it's somewhere around 25,000 people a day that die from starvation. So again, what if we care about lives, why do we only care now, and why do we only care about it when it comes to police brutality? Because again, if we are to believe that these people were out there only marching for George Floyd and justice, where are those people now when it comes to those children that just got gunned down supposedly in Chicago? And do you see any marches there? So do black so-called Black Lives Matter only when they die at the hands of police, because those are the only t-shirts that I see come out. Those are the only posters and the collages that I see people put together. Not when it comes to these so-called shootings. So again, I say to those groups that are marching and going to speak or do whatever they're doing with the KKK, turn around and come on down to Chicago and see what's going on in our streets, to see what's going on with these babies being murdered, if this is what's really going on. If it's us, or is it some type of purge that's being played out on the people, but they want to blame the people to to watch ourselves dehumanize ourselves while they do it too. Okay? So the Hebrew and the, okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting off track. Okay? So They got us all doing all this stuff or whatever just to see how we're going to respond, and we showing them instead of working behind closed doors and doing what we're supposed to be doing, to uplifting and empowering each other, and pulling away from this system altogether. Got us signing all kind of documents that we don't know what the fuck they're going to do with it later on, signing up for all kind of cards and vaccines and school shit that's going to have you having your children in these situations. And I just don't see. I think it's just time to come out. And again, you don't have to go all to one place and go pile up in one place and make it easier for them to come and do things to you on that particular part of land. That's silly. You can do it from right where you at. Come up out of her. Come up out the fucking system. Come out the church. Come out the school. Come out the consumerism. Come out of this fucking uh when it comes to social media and the garbage that people sometimes put out. Come out of entertainment. Turn the fucking TV off. Grow your own food. Figure out ways that we can work with each other in order to trade and barter within ourselves, within our community. Start where the fuck you at. People talking about going to Africa and do this and that. Well, you know, a majority or most of your people is not going to fucking Africa. So again, when we speaking on this, what do you mean? You've had plenty of time to go back to Africa. Go. But don't try to convince other people that may be American Aborigines and may be being deceived because of lack of knowledge into going with you. If someone can prove that you are from Africa, go. But rarely that's not the case. Okay, especially when it comes to people just saying because of a DNA test. Well, again, you want to talk about me about information that the white man, at least my information is information that has been hidden from us from hundreds of years. They've been letting you be black and African American and Pan-Africans for a very long time. And a lot of people are still Pan-Africans, but you're still here. What are you doing? They've been waiting for you to come back. So-called back. Okay? So at the end of the day, I see this as a ploy, an agenda, a thing like this. They tried to use their celebrities to get us to come back and all this other shit. But again, we grounded. And it didn't work for Abraham Lincoln. It didn't work for Marcus Garvey. It didn't work for anybody else that wanted to remove the Aborigines off of this land and take them somewhere else. Except for the people that came from South America up to the coast and became so-called slaves. Okay? Again, their story lied. There was only 250,000 so-called Africans that were brought from Africa during the slave trade. The other people that have been known to come here in numbers are the living creatures, God's children, those who are in the damn caste system or in his abode, those who get to come here still today and get all kind of grants and loans to open up businesses in your fucking neighborhoods, right? In your neighborhoods, and mistreat you and don't give you nothing. When they can come right in the hood and pull some of these people out and take them to teach them how to be doctors or grant them these type of things. But no, they go over to other countries and bring them here because they don't have to worry about these people. They are not a threat to this system because they are not original. Native Americans are not a threat to this system because they are not original. So they don't have the power that they think, or we're supposed to think that they have, because they are not the people that the land was taken from. The books that I'm looking at is telling me that the land that the people, the land that was taken from the American Aborigines or the Origines, not Native Americans. Wasn't no such thing as Native Americans to the 60s or the 70s. Just like it wasn't no such thing as an African American until Jesse Jackson did that shit in the 1980s. Okay? All a deception. You have to realize that everything you think you know is a damn lie. And you need to question everything after that. Even your damn self. Okay? So again, ain't nobody holding nobody back. Go do what you got to do. I'm not against nobody going there. But I'm just saying, you haven't proved to me that I'm from there. So what the fuck would I uproot myself from my land that I'm connected to and my ancestors' land under this damn earth to go and move over to Africa? When, again, we don't realize, because they have us in a certain mindset, that whatever you can do over there, you can do right here. The hell I got to give up my land for? And to say that Africa is more abundant and more rich than America would be a damn lie. That would be a lie. That is why everyone is coming to America, including Africans. That is why they came to Americas in the 1400s and tried to colonize in the 1600s, early 1600s, and didn't go to try to colonize Africa until the 1800s. You dig what I'm saying? Why skip Africa and the people and just use them there if that was richer than America? Why? Don't make no sense to me. Why are our pyramids over here in South America, okay, which is just the Americas before borders, older than the ones over there in so-called Africa. Now, this is not a competition. I'm just trying to let you know that we have some you have some work to do. You should study your own history here. Most people don't even know their fucking history here. Your grandma told you was Indian and you going against that because people told you your hair don't match the texture of the decoys that are sitting in our place and collecting our funds and sitting on our lands. The lands that was taken from your ancestors but given to them or reserved and preserved to put them on it in order for they can act as the people that are you. Okay? So I don't want to hear it, really. Okay? So again, let's keep going. Sure is more I can say, but we won't get off track too far. Okay? Which may very well agree with the history. Again, people have had plenty of years to come back and get you from America. Why the fuck now? Because we waking up? Okay? So-called Black Lives Matter and Amazon want to write it on their building. Why? Because you waking up? Which may very well agree with history. Okay? Because it is the name of a place. Saith. I'm just gonna think this is saith. John, where the wicked remember, wicked don't mean exactly what you think it mean, but it's more describing you than anyone else. Heathen is talking about you. Saracens is talking about you. The serpent is talking about something that has something to do with you. When it comes to the plume serpent, South America, serpent people in America, I did a video on that a long ago, maybe like a year ago or so, when I first started the channel. Maybe 2 years. I don't know. I'm lost track of time. But when we're talking about this serpent, are we talking about the Nagas? Again, there was a form of Nubia here. There was a form of ancient Egypt here. There was a form of many things here in America prior to there being a government here, is what I'm saying. Okay? Prior to the 1780s or whatever, whenever it was, 1789 or so. Okay? So, let's see. Where the wicked being assembled together by the alluring and deceit of Satan. Okay? By the alluring and deceit of Satan. Aten. And his 3 spirits of devils. I don't know if that's supposed to be devils. I don't know. But again, who else has 3 somewhat figures or whatnot? I don't know. Yeah, but devils, I'm guessing. To make, so devil is more like a title, right? Maybe if that's what we're using it like. To make war or wear with the faithful. Okay. Okay, so again, faithful and true. Again, if you go ahead and do the etymology on faith, and you'll see why there's no real substance there. We need to know. Faith and belief. Faith is dead without works, and belief, again, that's another one you should do etymology on. Okay? And again, somebody can be faithful to someone that is not really doing right. We're all destroyed by God. G-O-D. This is the same person, G-O-D with a capital G, was creating in Genesis, that was also, again, creating and tilling the earth. So the earth was first already there. You are the earth. And I'm going to show you what we're talking about when we're talking about the waters right now. So, destroyed by God. Okay? So again, if these people were here, or if some of these people, this have to be talking about aboriginals, those in the Sheol, those in the bottomless pit or whatever. Has to be. Because again, the heaven and hell is on earth. You're in hell and they're in the heavens. This is why they have certain privileges that you do not. So I don't believe in white supremacy because that would be admitting that they are supreme. But I do believe in white so-called privilege or a hierarchy of privilege. Okay? Because they have to deceive these people as well to make them think that they're something that they're not. Same thing they had to do to you and everybody else. And they don't care about any of us at the bottom of that temple or that house of cards. Okay? So, anyways, against the devils to make war against the faithfuls were all destroyed by God. Okay, so again, this is when he's talking about to subdue and till and reign, which means to control, not rain fucking drops. Okay, by God. Okay, again, the God in Genesis 1, because then he rested seventh day. I'm thinking we talking about 1776. Okay, the 1700s, and then what happened? The Lord God picked up and took from that dirt that was created, and then created he a man to put in the east of the garden, which happens to be where your Washington, D.C. is, right between the legs of the Virgin or Virginia and Maryland. And so their destruction came and was procured by deceit. Huh. Yeah. So again, they do this all the time. They use fear propaganda and all these things in order to persecute, well, this is procure, but to do this to certain groups of people. It's just what they do. Okay? Yet others interpret it to signify destruction by waters. Now, again, this is what it is as well, because the waters are the maritime people that came over here and infiltrated, watered, cultivated, irrigated, seeded, birthed up to the docks and to deliver cargo or stock. These are the slaves, the white so-called white slaves, Slavic people, okay, that came here, okay? And I'm thinking white didn't necessarily have to mean by skin color either. It was maybe by a heraldry, like a last name or a surname, or it could have even been but again, the thing is that they came by waters, because I think that even some of those people were darker view people, as composed of, okay, Harma Gideon, which also may very agree with the history. So we can look up these names here and see what we find about them in history and see what's going on. Okay. For waters indeed in his books signify of many people and nations. See? Mm-hmm. For waters indeed in his book signify ust or oft many people and nations. That's what it signifies in the Bible as well, okay? As appeareth by the very text in the 17th chapter. And others take it to be an allusion, okay, to the destruction that Joshua or Ioshua made of God's enemies, okay, made of God's enemies upon the bill of Mageddon. So, wow. Okay, so Armageddon and Mageddon. Okay, so we should very well look at this. Okay. And therefore, to be composed of Har. Okay. Which is called a hill and Mageddon. Okay. Which may also very well agree with the history. So, is this still keep trying to tell us that the biblical can be found in history? I don't know. Look, again, it's very choppy to read this kind of stuff because the text is not like written in a manner that we write today. And also some of these things are kind of tricky as to how they are spelled out with the, things. But again, you tell me. You guys can read this on your own, okay? But this sounds very much like what I'm talking about again, and I haven't run across this. This is actually the first time where I've really found something that is now made it concrete in my mind that the waters is talking about nations of people. And those are the slaves that came over here. And then when they came here, 1828 or so, or before then, they took our nationality, okay, suppose it, okay, American, and they gave it to their children, the living creatures, those that are living that have the breath of God. Okay. And others take it to be because the only way that a god or a male could deliver anything is by a ship at that point in time, from the belly of the ship. And guess what? A ship has ribs as well. So again, what are we talking about? And what does the ship do? Pulls up to the dock and delivers or gives birth. Just the same thing, you go to the doctor, deliver and give birth. And they get a stamp, right? That's the same stamp that's on the back of your birth certificate that makes you property of these very people, in my eyes. And then the social security number is just your tag or a mark of the beast. Okay? That has been given to people in different ways before. Okay? And therefore to be composed, okay, we already did this, which may also very well agree with the history. Okay? And this is why we can take some of these names out of this Bible and find their genealogy, and we can see that their family line is matching up almost identical with the family lines in the Bible. So why is that? Why is that? Why is Lincoln's great 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 grandfather, I believe it's Lincoln, called a bridegroom or whatnot on his genealogy, one of the first families or whatever that came here? The Old Testament is talking to you about the founding fathers and their fathers. That's the part of history that we don't talk about. That is the old world. That is ancient history. That is when you were still at some points in times in some places here still in a position of power, your ancestors, and it's the story of your ancestors as well here in the Americas, in the dealings with invaders and foreigners as well. That's what the Old Testament is, the story of the old world. The New Testament, okay, just comes in to tell what the rest of their plans is up until today, which was not hard to do because the book wasn't even finished, I don't think, until the 1800s, from the information I've taken. And it wasn't readily available to you in English here, and people couldn't even speak English until the 1900s. Before that, they were using bishops' Bibles. Before that, the very first Bible in America that was given to the public, or that was printed in America, was the Algonquin Bible. Well, is Algonquin low key something for a different type of group, like something more ancient? See, Hebrew, these things. The words they all mean something, but I'm saying they've been used to trick us, so they've been used in different types of ways to explain it's hard to explain. Okay, sorry. Maybe you can look at some other stuff that I have to see what I'm talking about. So Hill and McGinn, which are okay. And as I speak of this, so I speak like the God. I swear, listen to me. Listen to me. When we started talking about Mageddon and Gideon here, I don't know why I was thinking Gog and Magog. I promise you, I was just thinking Gog and Magog, but I was thinking why? I don't even see that within the term that I'm using here. But hey, that's the way this works. That's the way this works. I'm telling you, when you're feeding your mind, you're going to get answers. Some you may like and some you may not. Okay, so anyway, in the 20th chapter and of all other ambiguous places in the book. Okay, so again, I don't know, maybe this is going into the old English or something, but what does it say? It rest then that what ye find amise in the Pharisee ye input to my lack of ye seers, my lack of years and learning, and what ye find worthy to be allowed in it, and that ye attribute the full praise thereof of to God, to whom only all praise appertaineth. Farewell. Okay. So again, I just wanted to read that to you guys. I hope it wasn't too broken and too horrible to sit through. But again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and to join me in the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained, where you can find me and others sharing this type of information or different types of information, again, in order to unchain the brain, okay, of our people and others. Okay. So again, there's no hate here. There's no hate here, just information. Okay. And you can also join me on Instagram at Shay_seeking if you like. So again, thanks a lot for watching and take care.